We're talking about the best conference fit for the West Virginia Mountaineers. Up next on the Voice of Morgantown show. Let's go.
I'm following like Voice of Morgantown and like
Sure.
What's up, West Virginia fans? My name is Brad Smith. I'm here with Bernie Mac and Joshua. What's up, gentlemen? How are we tonight?
What's up, guys? Good to see you guys.
Yeah. So, guys, a report came out earlier today from on3.com sports, and they were basically saying that North Carolina is seeking a way out of the ACC to join the SEC, which got us starting to think about what is the best conference situation for the West Virginia Mountaineers. There's going to be a lot of conference realignment coming up in the coming years. And first of all, guys, I think we're very lucky to be in the Big 12. Oliver Luck got us there. But I don't necessarily think it is the ideal situation for the Mountaineers. What are you guys thinking?
I like where we're at. I was not crazy about the idea years ago now. It's been over a decade. It was 2012? Was that our first year in the Big 12?
Yep. Yep.
I was not crazy about it. I never wanted the Big East to die the way that it did. But the reality was it did, and we had to find a new home, and that was the Big 12. Wasn't crazy about it, but fast forward into the future where we're at now, I like it. I like our situation.
Yeah, I'm kind of neutral. I think it was a necessity due to the financial situation. And if we did not wind up in the Big 12, we would have been stuck in the athletic conference, the American Athletic Conference, which, from a financial standpoint, when you look what the money from the Big 12 and everything that we've been able to do on campus and elevating our programs, it's been tremendous. Do I think it was a good geographical fit? No. I hate the fact that we really can't go to any away games unless something pops up that's kind of close. I do think some of the realignment has helped. But look, I'm glad we're not in the ACC because I do think that is going to implode. There's too many unhappy people, even with some of the restructuring that they've done. So I think there's going to be several high-level programs, Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina. You're going to see an implosion of the ACC. So I don't think we belong there. But look, the Big 12's been good to us. It was fun watching us play Texas, Oklahoma State. Nobody's ever going to forget our first Big 12 opener with Geno Smith throwing 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have that stuff if we weren't in the Big 12, right? So I'm happy we're here. The fans have been great when they come in. It's been a fun experience. Do I think it's the ideal fit? No. Do I think it was a fit out of necessity? Absolutely.
Yeah, and Bernie, I'm going to disagree with you. I know a lot of people would disagree with what I'm about to say. I feel like the ACC is the very best option for us. I think if North Carolina somehow finds a way out of that deal and they're able to get out of the ACC and they move to the SEC, I think we could slide right in there and be a perfect fit for them. Geographically, rivalries. I mean, to me, guys, here's the deal. When we play Big 12 teams, do you guys get interested? Are you guys really excited when we play TCU or Baylor or Texas Tech? I mean, kind of, but not like we were when we were playing Virginia Tech and Pitt and Miami. I mean, all these schools that we could be playing in the ACC. Bernie, you made a good point, buddy, about that the ACC could implode any time now. But realistically, these schools are kind of stuck. Like Florida State, Clemson, they're going to have to pay out the ass if they want to get out of the ACC. And I don't know that they're able to do that, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I had I think it's like $175 million to leave the ACC this year. It goes down to, I believe, 157 in 2 years, and then it continues to shrink down $18 million each year. And then I think it kind of caps out at $75 million after the 2031 season. It's way too much money. I don't know of any team that would pay that. I don't know how that works. Maybe you guys do. does that come? If they wanted to leave, where does that 175 come from? Does it come from the university? Does it come from the athletic department? Because if it comes from the athletic department, their athletic department does not make $175 million a year.
No.
It's well below that.
Right. Well, so putting a business hat on, I'll tell you this, right? Long-term viability and sustainability is what's important to the conferences. When you have the ACC right now in the position that it's in, where I feel like it's in a very weak position, the grant rights deal is fine, but you have to remember it pissed a lot of people off, and the restrictions that they've created to not allow members to move are only infuriating other members more. You also capture the imbalance with premier schools versus non-premier. That's set the whole league ablaze, right? So, Josh, to your point, if you think about 118 million, but there's a $35 million a year spread between an ACC school and the SEC school, and an annual payout, you make that up in 5 years. You're looking 10 years, and you're in the positive, and then some. I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. But this whole thing with Clemson and Florida State here recently, and they settled. I saw that they had settled earlier this year. Schools, I feel like if anybody was going to do it, I felt like it was going to be one of those two. But in walks North Carolina, and I think I think I read that they're the 9th wealthiest university in the country. If any school can do it, I think North Carolina even more so than Florida State or Clemson. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I don't know. It was spreading like wildfire today, throughout social media. It'll be interesting to see where it ends up.
Yeah.
Another thing that I love about the Big 12, guys, is that I feel like it's a conference that we can compete for the conference title in. I know Bernie likes the Big 10, the option of us going to the Big 10 potentially. But do you guys really believe that we can compete for a Big 10 championship? I don't know, guys. I mean, SEC, I don't think that's even a possibility. But could we compete there? Big 12 to me, or ACC, gives the Mountaineers an opportunity to compete and to be in the college playoff every year.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I love the Big Ten conference, man. I love Big Ten football. I think as I've aged, I really appreciate good, solid defense. I love watching Ohio State play Michigan. I love Penn State's defense year in and year out. But I agree with you, Brad. I think we're more competitive in the Big 12. I think we would be more competitive in the ACC. And call me crazy, I see some people say the ACC is going to die. I don't think the ACC is going anywhere. I think the ACC is going to survive. They're going to flourish at some point down the road. But one of those two conferences, Big 12 or ACC, it gives us the best chance. Nobody's beating Ohio State in the foreseeable future, much less, West Virginia. But
and are they even the Big 10 anymore? I mean, you got USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. It's not like the Big 10 that we grew up watching, guys. This is a very different conference, and it's I don't know, guys. To me, that would be a distant third option for us. I'm looking at ACC, Big 12, and then Big 10 after that.
So I'll say this, right? I appreciate where you're coming from, but first of all, I hate the ACC in general. And they specifically slighted us and shit on us for years. So I have too much pride to even accept an invitation from them. If I'm the Mountaineers and the ACC comes calling my doorstep, I do what Brett Yomark just did to Memphis and say, I don't care how much money you're offering me, get off my doorstep. Because the ACC has shown nothing but disdain and disrespect for West Virginia for the better part of 2-3 decades, right? I want nothing to do with them. That's just my opinion. Now, as far as the Big Ten, I understand what you're both saying, and we may not be competitive, but if we got an extra $27 million a year, which would be the spread, little NIL money goes a long way, right, boys?
Yeah.
So, you know what? When you combine talent with the funding that you would get moving to the Big Ten, I think we could be competitive. All those new schools you just mentioned, Brad, I'm not really concerned about them, right? And then think of the fact how nice it would be to play Penn State. We get our old Big East rival back in Rutgers, which is great, even though Rutgers is Chicago back, right? That's fun. And then you factor in Maryland and Ohio State. Those are all games we could travel to really easily.
Yes.
So for me, I'm Big Ten all in. I think it was a massive mistake by the administration a long time ago when they didn't join what Joe Pa was trying to put together as he saw the conference. I think it would have been great. So I would love to be in the Big Ten. I think that's a natural geographic fit for us. I think we stay in the East Coast. I'm not saying we're going to win the league right away, but I think the money and the resources that we have now as a program, think of what we do with less. Think of what we could do with more, right? So I'm all in on the Big Ten. And the ACC, I would buy some toilet paper or wipe my rear end with it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think Bernie is spot on with that. West Virginia is in a much better position than going back to the ACC. I don't like West Virginia in the ACC. The Big Ten, I know we've been texting for a few days about, different conferences. The Big Ten, I think, is the premier conference. And I know the SEC has won all these championships in the last however many years. The Big Ten is the best conference. I think they're the toughest conference. They're hard-nosed. And I agree with Bernie, just to reiterate, I would much rather play Penn State over anybody else in the ACC, over Miami. I would rather play Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin. I feel like us and Wisconsin would have a pretty good rivalry, within the Big Ten. The stadiums, man, are just legendary, Big Ten stadiums. So I agree with Bernie's point. I think it's an excellent point.
Well, and here's this, guys. So I just looked it up quickly. Big Ten and SEC led revenue distribution in 2024-2025, $75 million per school, with incentives and bonuses not included in that. Big Ten $75 million, SEC was $52 million. Big 12, $43 million. So Big 12 to SEC, the Big Ten is roughly a difference of $33 million.
Wow.
I mean, that's almost double what we're getting right now. So for me, again, just because of what the ACC has said and done to us in the past, I have no desire to go there. I think if I had to rank the conferences now, it's Big Ten, SEC, and I'm going all around. I'm not just focusing on football. Yeah. Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, ACC. That's how I see it. I think Yomark has run circles around the ACC since he's become our commissioner. I think he's done fantastic things. I think there's still opportunity to expand with those Pac-12 schools that are coming out. I think it was a good move to pass on Memphis because I think it would have diluted the brand. But I'm telling you, man, I could see it very easily being the Big 12, Big 10, and the SEC is the three power conferences in 5 years. I think the ACC is dead and buried when this grant of rights deal expires. And, there's too much anger and built up hostility between the schools and the imbalance that created. So I'm going to go on record saying ACC is going to be dead and buried in 5 years.
Guys, if you're on YouTube right now, please go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. We are giving away season tickets. If you guys haven't already subscribed to our account, first of all, what are you doing? We're giving away season tickets to a lucky subscriber. All you have to do is subscribe. We're going to be giving away these tickets live on our show. Guys, this is an awesome opportunity to see every single West Virginia home game, except for Pitt, which we're giving those tickets away as well later on. But big opportunity for you guys. Guys, so my question is, if North Carolina does go to the SEC, the ACC is looking for a new team. They come crawling back to West Virginia. They're able to offer us a little bit more money because of the fact that North Carolina had to pay to exit. Are we even considering it or no?
No. I'm on Bernie's side. No way. You're looking pretty weak. They rejected us, talked down to us. I mean, I can't really put it as good as Bernie did. I mean, he was spot on. I'm comfortable staying in the Big 12. But for the sake of this podcast, and if we're going to play pretend like we've been playing this summer in the last couple of episodes, who are some of viable options outside of West Virginia that the ACC would pick up? You guys have any idea? Marshall?
Memphis. I think they'd go to Memphis, to be honest. I think that's a good fit for them. I really do. They've got a good basketball program. They've surprised people with football. Memphis is dying to get into a Power 4 conference. And, I mean, we just saw they offered us $200 million to get in, right?
Yeah.
That's something that's very appealing to the ACC. And then I think we could look even further, at some of the other schools. And I'm trying to think of what other ones. SMU, right? SMU is AAC.
Yeah.
You can see them get thrown in there. They've been successful.
They're at SMU. Aren't they in the ACC already?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay. What about
They transferred into the ACC? Did I miss that? Oh boy.
Toledo?
Yeah.
Toledo?
So maybe the ideal situation, guys, is that the ACC falls apart and we kind of pick it apart. Get Pitt, Virginia Tech, those type of schools. Have them join the Big 12. That seems like really an ideal situation for us, right?
Well, let's say the ACC does go away. We're at 16 teams right now. Do you think we would take 4 teams and go up to 20? You think that's a smart idea?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I think Brett Yormark is an awesome guy to represent the conference. He's like a shark. He smells blood in the water. But yeah, I would say Pitt, Virginia Tech. I would love to play Miami again. Pitt, Virginia Tech, Miami. Who would be the 4th team if you guys could pick?
Syracuse?
Yeah, Syracuse.
I'll take Syracuse.
Would
you don't want Syracuse, Bernie?
It all lost its luster to me, right? Like, I think that league was special when it was intact, and then as soon as Miami and everybody kind of jumped, it doesn't feel the same. I think we're romanticizing rivalries that are dead and buried at this point, right? Like, I think Pitt, VTech, I still consider them rivalries. I could care less about Miami anymore. Even though, my boy Quincy Wilson, I'll never forget that game. But again, it's just like, for me, and especially the younger fans, you guys got to remember, like, they don't remember any of that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's the rivalries that stayed intact. I would probably say are going to be VTech, Pitt. Yeah, that's really it for me.
I'd like to have a Duke, in the conference too. But if the ACC goes away and UNC's in the SEC, Duke is probably going to follow them to the SEC. You would imagine.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some comments here, guys. Joey Foster, one of the all-time great West Virginia good guys in West Virginia sports. He used to produce the Golden Blue Dude show. So great producer for them. He said Big Ten will never happen, not only due to academics, but Ohio State, Penn State would never vote for that. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say, that West Virginia wouldn't get voted in to the Big Ten or certainly the SEC. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
I agree with Joey. I don't think the Big Ten would take us. I think it's just I don't even think it's a pipe dream. There's no way. As much as we want to wish for it, I think where we're at is where we're going to stay. Yeah, that's the best place for us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, the academics have always been an issue, and it will be an issue with the ACC, right? Yeah. So, I mean, regardless of that, I think the standards that were set a long time ago are no longer the standards that anybody plays by. So I appreciate Joey's comment, but at the end of the day, the landscape changed, right? OSU, PSU are not the same schools that would have prohibited us from getting in 10 years ago. To Brad's point, you've got these crazy West Coast schools. Anybody would have ever thought UCLA would be in the Big Ten 5 years ago?
No. The ACC.
No. Right. So, I mean, it's just like this kind of stuff. We don't know how everybody's thinking. I do agree with Josh. I think we're in a very good spot. We're in a safe spot in the Big 12, which I think is only going to continue to improve. I would not want us to jump to the ACC. I think it's a step down. But I think you never know with the Big Ten, even the SEC. I mean, you just never know. And we do have some good rivalries. Remember, we were almost in the SEC if it wasn't for Missouri, right? Like, nobody would have ever thought Missouri would wind up in the SEC, and it was between us and them going into that league. So, you factor in Kentucky, that's border war. I mean, there's a lot of good schools we could draw some natural rivalries with if they choose to expand.
Yeah. Ron over on YouTube said, have we not reviewed the history between WVU and the ACC? We certainly have. Crawling back to the ACC after the way we have been treated would be disgusting, maybe. I'm not sure. West Virginia is better than that and does not need the dying ACC. I don't believe we would be crawling back to the ACC. I think that they would be crawling back to us guys.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I would have to reject them. Let me shine a spotlight a little bit, if you guys don't mind, on the Big 12. I think it's not the Big 10, it's not the SEC. Those are the two premier conferences. We can both agree. All three of us can agree with that. But I did some background work today, guys, and in the top, we have 3 players within the Big 12 who ranked in the top 30 for valuations for this upcoming football season. We have Sam Levitt at Arizona State, Avery Johnson at Kansas, Josh Hoover at TCU. I know it's not a lot of players, but I still think it's good publicity for the Big 12. It still shines a spotlight on the Big 12 football teams. You look at Texas Tech, they're ranked number 2 in the country as far as NIL spending this upcoming football year. It makes us look like we do have money and we're not irrelevant. We have 9 teams ranked so far in the 2026 recruiting classes. Within the top 50, we have 9 teams, BYU being the top one at number 19. I know it's not top 10, but it's still relevant. It gives us some relevancy and still shines a spotlight on us. And if anybody's interested, West Virginia is ranked number 43. I feel like we're always in the 40s, right, with college football top recruiting classes. But the Big 12 is still there. I feel like the Big 12 teams are still kind of in the shadows, and we can make some noise. Arizona State, can we agree, got screwed last year in the college football playoff? We can agree with that, can't we?
Yeah.
We pass across the middle. I mean, that was ridiculous. Yeah. I think the Big 12, I think we're in a really good spot. And I see people continuously arguing back and forth with each other about the ACC. We belong in the ACC. This sucks. We can't travel this far anymore. It's wearing the players out. Well, that's the norm nowadays. Look at USC. USC, almost every other week, they're traveling back to the Midwest. How do you think their players feel? What about the California Golden Bears? Or is it the Bears now? I don't know. They're in the ACC, and look at them flying across the country almost every other week. So that's kind of a played-out excuse. West Virginia in the Big 12, we're in a good spot right now. We have a great commissioner, Brett Yormark. He's very aggressive. We have a great athletic director in Ren Baker, who's from Big 12 country, has our best interests at heart, just signed an extension. I think we're in a great spot. I wish we could stop talking about the ACC. I understand it, but it's not going to happen. We're in a great spot. Let's just all accept the Big 12. It's been almost 15 years now, so it's time to move on.
Well, you know what the ACC is like to me, guys? This is how I'll put it for everybody out there. The ACC is like the prom queen you had a crush on when you were a freshman in high school. And then she wouldn't give you the time of day. She talked shit on you and just hated on you the whole time, right? Then she goes out, has 5 kids, gains 200 pounds, becomes a crack addict, then comes crawling back wanting to go on a date. That's how I look at the ACC. I want nothing to do with the ACC. I think whoever just put that comment up about how they've treated us in the past, West Virginia needs to maintain its integrity. If the ACC does come calling, I hope they tell them to stick it up their rear end, because we should not be going to that conference. We're better off in the Big 12 than the ACC. Even though I'd like to see some of the rivalries come back, it's just not worth it to me.
I've almost moved on from the rivalries. If you turn on ESPN now, these guys are crying about rivalries. We're not going to get this game. We're not going to get that game. Who was crying for us almost 15 years ago? Nobody was. I missed playing Pitt and Virginia Tech like we all did, but I've kind of moved on from that phase now. It's been nice playing Pitt these last few years. I know that's going to go away, I think, after this year for a few more years at least. But I've moved on from that. I'm really excited about our position. Again, I'll say it, in the Big 12. Rich Rodriguez is back. Our basketball program's got some motivation behind it. We have people who want to be at West Virginia University. Our awesome athletic director. I think we're in a great position, guys. I mean, I don't know about you or the people viewing, but
I think the more we've talked through it, guys, the more that we're kind of okay with staying in the Big 12, right?
Yes,
Brett Yormark is a huge bonus for us. I like you guys have already said, he's just such an innovative character and such an innovative leader that I think he's setting this up to be successful for long term in the future.
How feasible is it? What are the chances that UNC is going to go to the SEC? Is this just chatter, or is this something that's going to happen?
Right now, the report was that they're seeking an exit to go to the SEC. I'm not sure about the legitimacy of it or how realistic it is.
That's almost like Clemson and Florida State, like 2 years ago when that kind of came out, and then you saw how that happened.
Yeah.
I don't think UNC is going anywhere. If I have to bet, if I'm putting money on it, UNC is not going anywhere. They're going to stay in the ACC. The ACC teams are locked down with a grant of rights, and I know anybody can pony up some money to exit the league, but I don't think anybody's doing it. And I disagree with Bernie. I think the ACC is here to stay. I think they'll re-up some other teams if they have to, but I would love to see them go away. I would love to see 4 of their teams come to the Big 12, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, the other big news from today is that Ren Baker, our fantastic athletic director, signed an extension to his contract, added 2 years. He's going to go from making $1.3 million a year, which is what he's currently making, to $2 million a year by the year 2032. So that's a huge bonus for him. He also has those retention bonuses, which are $200,000 a year, all the way up to $500,000 by the end of the contract. Guys, can we put these Oklahoma AD rumors to bed?
Yes. Yeah, because that's one of the top athletic director salaries in the country, isn't it? Because we looked them up last week. I think they were like around $1.5 million on average.
Yeah. I think we looked at Oklahoma's AD was making $1.5 million currently. So it's probably up there.
That's great. That's great, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy about that. I love Ren Baker. I feel really confident with him. He's so innovative. He's so diplomatic with his words. We talked about that last week. I'm excited with Ren Baker. He's made great decisions up to this point.
Yeah. Guys, so it sounds like we're okay with West Virginia staying in the Big 12, with Ren Baker remaining our athletic director. It doesn't sound like we need to make any real changes right now. West Virginia has a very, very bright future. Guys, anything else you want to say before we go?
Yeah, just for the sake of having fun, just a few more minutes, guys. If you could pick one SEC team and one Big Ten team to play every single year, who would that team be?
Bernie, you want to start, buddy?
I think for the Big Ten, it'd be a toss-up between Penn State and Ohio State, just because, for those of us who have followed the program forever, we all remember the 26-game streak that came to an end in Mount Unifield, right? Like against Penn State, how painful that rivalry was and how skewed the talent pool was at that time. Obviously, we didn't execute against them in our most recent games, but I'd love to see that played more, because I think we're better in what we showed on the field, especially with Neil Brown as our coach, right? And now that's changed. But Ohio State would be hella fun to play at the Horseshoe. So it's a tough call. As far as the SEC, I'm going to go out and probably say I'd like to play either Georgia or Alabama every year. It's just, if you want to play a game in a marquee game. I'd probably say Georgia right now, to be honest, just because I think it's could become a fun rivalry, given some of the geographical overlapping and some of the recruiting we've done down there in the past. So that would be fun, just to play the top dog every year and see what happens,
Yeah. I think the Big Ten, Penn State, is an absolute no-brainer. I would love to play them every single year, although they destroyed us last year. Didn't even feel like it was close, but I would love to have that rivalry back. And then in the SEC, there's a lot of teams I'd love to play yearly in the SEC. Texas would be fun again. I would love to play at Florida or Georgia. Lots of teams there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just for the sake of disagreement, I'm going to say Wisconsin, because I've always been fascinated with Wisconsin and Camp Randall Stadium. I used to go to Wisconsin when I was in the military. Very frequently, and I think it's a beautiful state. That's a beautiful campus. And for the SEC, I'm going to pick Florida just because I'm just under 2 hours to Gainesville. I'll actually be in Gainesville tomorrow for work, and I think we could have a really good rivalry with Florida. Year in and year out. That would be great if we could play those teams.
Guys, Silas brought up a good point over on YouTube. He said, it's been a while since WVU fans have all been happy about current situations of almost all our sports. Guys, we don't have anything to bitch and complain about anymore. It doesn't feel like. I mean, anything you guys have, any complaints that you have about the current state of West Virginia athletics?
I don't have any complaints. I used to be on Facebook and Twitter arguing with people daily about Neil Brown and the football team and how we sucked and everything. And it's been months. Neil Brown gets canned. We hire Rich Rodriguez. I start reading the Bible. I turn my life around. I'm a different guy, literally inside and out. So that's a good point, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to be happy about, and it's not just football and basketball. All of our sports are thriving. I've said this before in the show, women's soccer, men's soccer. It's great to see the school have a golf team again.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball. Wrestling's done well. Rifle continues to dominate. It would be fun if we had some of those other sports in like one overlapping conference instead of some of the splits we have. But I can't think of any of our sports that have really struggled. Women's basketball has been great. All the marquee sports are on the uptrend, and all the ancillary sports have really done a good job of carrying the banter and the banner over the last few years when we were kind of down and out, especially in football, because there was not much to celebrate football.
I agree. And I've noticed this year, even though we're not getting picked from some of the big recruits, football-wise, a lot of recruits have had us in their top 5. Some of them have had us in our top 3. And that's good. That's been a while since that's happened also.
Yeah,
for sure. Guys, before we go, please, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment for us. You have an opportunity to win season tickets to see the West Virginia Mountaineers this year. All you have to do is hit subscribe. We will be announcing those ticket giveaway in August, somewhere around mid-August. So it's coming up, guys. We're going to announce it live here on the show. Bernie, Joshua, it's been fun. Anything else you want to say before we go, guys?
It's almost football season, so I'm going to be looking forward to doing more of these shows. Hopefully we get more viewers. Guys, share the podcast, like the channels. As always, we appreciate your views.
Yep. Follow us on X, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got a lot of big changes coming this year, fans. It's going to be fun. We're going to be in Morgantown. We've got some live spots we're going to be doing throughout the season this year. It's going to be a good year.
Awesome, guys. Have a wonderful night. Let's go Mountaineers.
I'm following voice of Morgantown and
Sure.